There are plenty of citizens, many in this room, othered, ignored, and canceled by big tech, the government, and yours truly, the Democrat-run media over there. This constant,
Parents have the right to instill their own values in their children, not government. It is a scientific fact that there are two human sexes, male or female. Leave this ideology out of the schools.
What the heck is a neutral classroom anyway? A classroom needs to be vibrant, challenging, and inspiring. Take away the great words of thinkers and writers, and you are sending empty vessels into the world.
Now, you can call me woke if you want to. I am wide awake and will not rest until every single one of my students is protected, supported, and educated in the same manner. I'm disappointed most of all in the reckless accusations that myself and my colleagues are groomers or indoctrinators, the insinuation that we are trying to harm children in our own classrooms with the wrong books or the wrong material. I am a mother. I am a grandmother. I am a PTA member. I'm a former Teacher of the Year. How dare you insinuate that anything improper is happening in my classroom or the classrooms of the many fabulous colleagues that I have the privilege of working with day to day on the ground here in Escambia County Public Schools. My name is Carol Cleaver, and my job in this community is to be a middle school science teacher. And I wanted to come here today to talk about what exactly my job is because, as we've just seen, there seems to be a lot of confusion around here lately about what it is that teachers are doing in the classroom. So I wanted to talk about that for a minute. When students come into my classroom, I teach them about the difference between weather and climate, the factors that affect gravity, and how to dissect a frog. I'm proud to have been selected for many years now to help write the science curriculum for this district and mentor new teachers. I will not entertain stories about a fight at lunchtime or a teacher that has upset them because that is not necessary to my two prime objectives, which are, number one, to raise good citizens, number two, to teach science. I want to teach science. I want to raise good citizens. I want to do that in a classroom where everybody feels safe and encouraged and confident enough to take on new academic challenges. I need my students to feel supported so that they will be confident enough to do the tough things like learn what is an independent variable, what is a dependent variable, and then graph that on a chart. That's tough concepts, and they're not going to be able to do that if they don't feel encouraged and supported by their teacher. So all of my students, all of them need to have the message that I am supporting them. I'm asking that this board chooses a leader that is just as wide awake as I am, because we should not be sleeping on the students of Escambia County. Thank you.
Society and its institutions, especially schools, have changed to accommodate the ever-unfolding truths about our citizenry, all of us who are created equal. My daughter graduated from CB West in the 90s. She was different, bright, but different. She was never the 12-year-old cute girl going on 20. She preferred boyish clothes, spent hours drawing and writing. It was never the teacher's pet. She was bullied because she never fit the mold and did not know how to be cool. We sent her to psychologists, and I read everything I could to find her in educational literature, but there were no answers. After graduation, she went to college, and one day, after reading an issue of Time magazine, her life changed. The cover story was about autism, and as she read, she saw herself, and a doctor confirmed her self-diagnosis as being on the autism spectrum. That was the beginning of a painful road to understanding who she was, and what she needed her parents, family, and friends to know about her. Autism was not recognized in the 90s like it is today. In the 21st century, in my classes at South, I had students on the spectrum, and they were acknowledged by staff and students as complete people, just a variant of what people call the norm. There were books in our libraries about people with autism, and none of these books had neon signs on them requiring that everyone read them. If a student needed it or wanted it, it was there. If my daughter had had these advantages in school, she would have been spared a painful adolescence. More and more actions of this district make Arthur Miller's A Crucible come to light. Central Buck seems like a version of colonial Salem, where its lies lead to fear, corruption, and destruction of the innocent. I can hear John Proctor declaring that instead of common sense, common vengeance writes the law. Last, consider these words from a great play I taught in 9th grade. It is also a line from the Bible. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. And you kids who are fighting for everything, don't forget what in the last line of Gatsby. We beat on boats against the current, you continue to row.